What's up guys, Chad here with Tech in the Wild. Today we're going to be checking out the Subnado Underwater Scooter with a paddleboard attachment. We're going to head up to Pinewood Lake here in Colorado and see what it can do. Let's check it out. So I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I think I had just bought a couple oars for my girlfriend and I's paddleboard. So of course Facebook's like, hey, this is what you need. And it's showing me this powered fin for paddleboards, and I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. I go to check it out and it's like $800. It's just a little too much money for me for that. You know, after a while other brands start coming up, and that's when I stumbled upon the Subnado. The first one that I think I saw was the Plus model, which is still $800. But I noticed on Amazon that they have a couple other models, and so I started looking into those, and that's when I stumbled on this one that I'm going to show today, which was at $450. Still quite a bit of money, but it seemed to make sense for what I wanted to try to use it for. My only concern is, of course, it's got less power than that Plus model. That's basically what we're going to test today. Can it still do what I want it to at that price point? But anyways, first we'll walk through all this and see what comes in the box. So this is pretty much everything that comes with the kit. We're going to start here on the main unit up at the top. You can see this screws off, and it's got a couple O-rings that keeps it waterproof. And inside there is where you're going to plug in your Type-C cable to charge the battery. Moving down, we've got the two O-rings here on this connector, and this is where the throttle cable is going to snap into, and those O-rings are going to keep it waterproof as well. And taking a quick look at the throttle cable, it's coiled so it'll stretch, and then a pretty simple button. On the side here we've got the on-off switch. I'm going to switch that to on. It's going to make a noise. And then also give us the LEDs to show how much battery life we have. Moving down, we've got the quick connect, so that's what's going to connect into the paddleboard adapter here and those red clasps, or whatever other accessory they offer. Down here we've got the propeller, and then a different view down here. Pretty simple. So here we've got the paddleboard attachment. You can kind of see that I had to grind some of that off. It didn't end up fitting my paddleboard. It's probably different based on region and brand, but it wasn't too much. It just barely didn't fit. Another thing that didn't line up is they have this insert here to lock that in place into your paddleboard channel, and that also didn't line up for me. I'll show a little bit of that later. There's also a Type-C cable, some clips for the throttle cable, and some extra sticky pads, some grease for the motor and the O-rings, and then some extra O-rings. So it's a pretty cool little unit, but let's get it out to the water and see what it can do. We'll see you out there.
Dust on the console, cold in my veins. Remember mama told me, boy, you playing dangerous games. I just wanted something more. Silicon heart beating out in the wild. Silicon heart broken, lost like a child. Is there anybody out there who feels the same in the silicon heart?
It's going a lot faster than I thought it would. This is on the turbo mode. If I click it twice, you'll hear it beep, and that's the slower mode. This is more trolling speeds. Which is still pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't plan to use this all the time. It kind of defeats the purpose of doing your paddleboarding, but if it's a windy day and you're tired of rowing, this is pretty nice. Well, I made it to the other side of the lake without much rowing. Lazy, but it was fun. Just sitting here enjoying the view now. We got some clouds coming in, so I don't know how much longer I can stay out here, but this is beautiful. You can see the winds blowing me into the shore now. So I'm going to try to turn myself around. Then use the remote to get me out of here. You can see how fast I'm moving. Yeah, just heard some thunder rumbling a couple seconds ago. So this might be a short trip, but I'm gonna dink around a little longer and see what else I can do, what other fun I can have. Yeah, I think it's time to head back. That was fun though. I mean, I didn't go too far, but it got me over here a lot better than I thought it would. A little bit more sprinkle now, so definitely a good time to call this project done and see where we're at. I'm just putting my oar in the side I want to turn in, so on this right side I put it in. You see we turn to the right. If I switch it over to the left side, it turns us to the right. And depending on the angle and how deep you put it in, you'll get a little bit more. We're coming in pretty hot, so I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit. Now, a little Subnado. It's not too heavy, but usually these paddle boards are pretty well balanced when you're holding the handle. This obviously puts a little bit more weight on the back, and so you have to counter it with your strength a little more, but not too bad, but definitely a difference. So this one comes with the rear fin adapter to just slide in there. It didn't end up aligning on this one. This is a Boat Wolf, an ultralight paddleboard. But once you get that in there, it's pretty snug. It's not going anywhere. I'll probably find something to fit in there so it doesn't move, but as you can see, this one, it didn't even budge. And then to take this off, just push that red button, pull it out, get your handle, and it's good to go. All right, let's get out of here.
Feel it, the rhythm. Feel the beat under your feet. Can you see the light? Get ready for tonight. Wild and peaceful. Wild and peaceful. The sound all around.
Alright guys, that was a short trip, but here's my final thoughts. Before I went out, I honestly didn't think that thing was going to have enough power for me to really enjoy it, but ultimately in the end I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, it's not a speedboat, you're not going to fly across the water, but it got the job done. I mean, if I was going to paddleboard, I don't think I would have even gone that fast. Even on the lower setting, it's at least matching how, at my most strength, how fast I would paddleboard. I think it's plenty if you just want to get out on the water, have a leisurely stroll. You're not really out there for the workout. It's just to enjoy the scenery. So I also think it has enough power. If somebody else was paddleboarding with you, you could tow them along just fine, especially on the turbo setting. Other uses for this: people with disabilities or older age that just don't have the strength or the capability to go paddleboarding but want to do it, this opens up the door for them. I think it'll give them a chance to enjoy it and not worry about being stuck out in the middle of a lake. I think this also could be used on possibly boats, kayaks, probably rafts, which is basically paddleboards. I don't know if it'll have enough power, which makes me think using this as an underwater scooter with the handles, what's going to be the difference with that? The paddle boards are nice and flat. It's not a lot of surface area. It's pretty easy to push that along. But the surface area of a human, it's a lot of resistance, going to slow things down. I'm curious to try that out. Hopefully I'll do another video when I get a chance to try that. I'd like to do it at the lakes, but the lake water is usually pretty gross. So definitely the next time I take a trip to the ocean or something like that, I can't wait to try it out and see what it's like. The actual battery time, I didn't have a great chance to check that out because the trip got cut short because of the weather moving in. But the little bit I did use it, I think I lost one bar on the circle, if you remember that. And so if I remember correctly, it was 56 minutes of continuous use. I don't think that you're gonna need to continuously use this to propel you along. You're gonna use it for little bursts to get you moving. You're gonna steer a little bit. At least that was my experience today. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get out and use it a lot more, especially for a full day until the battery runs dead, and see how long overall did I get to enjoy it. Again, I don't think anyone's going to be using this for 56 minutes straight. But whatever you do use, I think it's going to be plenty of time to be out on the water. Unless you plan on being out there all day long, which me for paddleboarding I haven't. It's usually a couple hours and then I'm done, I go back. But that doesn't mean that there's not a case where I will. And so like I said, there's also the grip. So it's kind of like a handlebar, and it's got that same, connects to that same quick attachment right there. And then you can, it's got a different throttle that you can plug in there and then use that to cruise along. They've also got a arm attachment, so you can do the Ironman, fly around. Also, you could put that on your legs, which kind of makes sense. And you can do one or two. I think that's where this is more marketed. That's why it's $400. You buy two of them. You've got double the power, which brings me to the Plus model. So that one's $800, and it only gives you 20 pounds of thrust and a 60-minute battery life. So it is more powerful, but it's not double. It's not for double the money. I would have expected double the thrust, double the battery power, and the battery time. But if all you need is one motor, maybe it makes sense. One thing I did realize after I got home was that the lake I was on today does not allow electronic motors. So, whoops, I kind of did something bad there. Luckily, it was a very slow day. There was hardly no one out on the lake, but that's something to keep in mind. If you're going to get this and you're going to go out to a lake near you, make sure you look up the rules and regulations on there, because I could have got fined today. And if you look at a couple parts of the video, I had a decent wake. I mean, not a speedboat wake or even a normal boat wake, but it's pretty obvious that I was using something electronic to power me across the lake, and I'll definitely keep a better eye out for that on the future. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave your comments below if you want to see me try something different in the future. If you've got a gadget you've been checking out and you're curious about, I'd love to get new ideas. I'm always on the lookout for things like this. So until next time, guys, thanks. If you like this video, hit that like button and click subscribe. Click the bell icon so you can be notified every Sunday when we release new videos. And as always, thanks for watching.